Oh, hello. There you go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And here we are. This is the lower bracket finals. Who will actually take it? Will it be Nux? Will it be GeoHen? It's time to see who is going to be moving on to face off against Ender tomorrow. And this has been a very quick day, in all honesty. We've just gotten a few of these games up and running, and we are pretty much done with them in a flash. But you know what isn't a flash, though? It has been our standard bearers, Pure PC, as well as Block of One. Thank you to them for all the support. In the meantime, this is presented to you, of course, by DLS Missile, Daks, as well as IS Boy Productions. But in any case, though, we are going to be getting into the matchup again. Our first map will be Everdream LE, and we are going to be in between a game already in progress. We'll see what this one is going to be all about, as let's get into the matchup. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Seems like our players had a little bit of those latency issues, but here we are. We are into Everdream, and this is the perfect time because it seems like we're immediately getting aggro into this game. Introducing first here on the top right, your I'm a time champion, has he been? Your two-time champion, a regional force to be reckoned with, and dropping down from the upper bracket finals, looking to get the revenge match again against Ender. His name is Nux. And his opponents finally making it to the top 3, making a big splash, and looking to go for the biggest upset of them all, completing the Zerg trifecta. His name is GeoHen, or Azin. So immediately as we get into the game, we already see the pool first from both sides go for the duel. And something to take note, though, is this is just really Nux being able to adjust as much as possible. He knows GeoHen is a very aggressive player, and we have seen Nux actually take the pool first approach a lot more often than not compared to his hatchery first days. And it really just goes to show the evolution of our Zerg players so far. But in the meantime, we already expect Azin to do something a little zany, and immediately he goes for the Roach Warren and the Baneling Nest. Now, I don't really agree with going for both at the same time, because you're investing a lot of those resources just to have all those tech units up and running. Though at least one choice will be enough, and Nux in the meantime gonna be backing on away. Does he actually know that his opponent is going into that deep tech pool? Spinecrawler being built, though. Nux wanting to play a little bit more on the macro side this time and have something to anchor on this second base. In a case like this, though, there we go with a quick little larva inject. And this is just Nux bringing in more and more of these drones so far. But the question now is, how will Nux actually contend with the upcoming Banelings, with the upcoming units as much as possible? That's a really big question here between our two players, as there's only one gas also here for the side of Azin. I don't think the Baneling Nest and the Roach Warren can actually use that one gas setup to begin with. He's only getting gas right now for that metabolic boost. It's a really interesting call to get everything unlocked, but being unable to use it just doesn't help whatsoever. In a case like this, though, Spinecrawler right now being built. There we go with Banelings and the Roaches. And it feels like it's just such an all-in right now from Azin. And if Nux is able to defend this, that's pretty much it. There we go with the Queens right now, trying to get DPS on. Azin in the meantime, we're wedging these Roaches for the time being. And there we go with the Zerglies, still getting in position. Nux right now, trying to go for this around. Good positioning here for GeoHen, but it's still not enough. And this is just a bit of a head scratcher because GeoHen is funneling these units, but Nux is already ready for it. So much of a swarm so far. There we go with the beams, though. And okay, never mind. The tide completely turns as Azin gets a big bust down onto these Lings to begin with. The high ground right now gonna have these Lings still. There we go with the Queen right now also trying to get in the way. But the thing to note, though, since Nux did go for the Spinecrawler approach, he's gonna have something to poke and prod these Banes if ever. All Nux needs to do, though, is plug this leak, and very well executed. He puts the big butts of these Quins on the ramp already, and there we go. It seems like there's a little bit of an issue, but they are a-okay yet again. And unfortunately, there was some latency issues bugging them again and again, and that's been a problem for Nux, especially in the upper bracket finals. It really feels like it cost him a game because of his problems there with the latency itself. He was really putting Ender to the test, but whenever you are forced to give Ender a reprieve, you know that he can go for the comeback there, and it really felt like that small reprieve that Nux was forced to give because of issues out of his reach, kind of costing him a game or two there. Though the better player won in that series, won out in the end. And right now, Nux has to prove that he deserves to be back to where he belongs, back to get into the grand finals, as this is going to be the Zerglings already looking to go all the way to the west side and shutting down whatever Azin wants to do. Think to note, as we say, Everdream is a very macro-intensive map, and if Nux is able to shut them down like this, then it's even perfect. There we go, though, with the scout already trying to go for this around. Baneling's getting a few slams here and there, and Nux will be backing on out with whatever is left. Never mind, nothing is there anymore. But still, in a case like this, This is just gonna be Nux looking to get this third base up and running. Roach is gonna be into play as well. There we go with the creep choose right now, looking for a setup at the same time. And here comes Nux, getting more and more of an army. He's gotten into Roach Warren already. He is just good to go to begin with. And in a case like this, though, it'll be pretty interesting to say, as Azin right now gonna be looking to drop that hatchery down. This is gonna be the Lynx in the meantime, moving on around as much as possible. The surround is there though, and Banelings are marching forward. Can they actually get the catcher too? Is it gonna be enough? That's gonna be a real question there. And my oh my, Azin gonna get picked off one by one this time. So Nux a lot better on the micro department here compared to the initial surprise. And really felt like that was just such a bailout play for Azin. This time, with 35 army and counting, Nux is waiting for an opportunity to go for a deeper push. And all he needs to do right now is make sure his bases are connected, his roaches are there, and he can be good to go. He's also going for the lair tech this time, and on the other side, Azin trying to do the same, but the extractors right now for Azin is so subpar compared to what Nux is doing right now, because he's on 3 gas, he's getting Ravagers as well. In a Roach versus Roach fight, you need to have that gas, especially if you want to add in Ravagers, especially if you want to do something else in this game. But anyway, though, Azin already going for the run on away again and again. He's trying to make it through to the main base. He's trying to get into the mineral line. But with the Queen now surrounded, is Azin not trying to go for the rest back again and again. Transfusion gonna be in order? No, he doesn't actually. There we go. Finally gets a heal on. And sneaky peeky, Azin trying to go for the Banelings onto the mineral line. But it's not gonna happen. No siree. As these Roaches and Ravagers are just watchdogs, ever faithful. In a case like this, though, +1 will be online again, and we will see Azin right now trying to get +1 onto the melee this time. Range versus melee, Lings versus Roaches. The thing to note, though, that these Roaches are looking more and more fearsome, especially with their numbers, and that is just going to be a perfect position there to Nux to intercept whatever is going on. GeoHen, in the meantime, what can he even do by this point? He has his third base up and running. Can he actually make it to Spire Tech in time? That's the question there. Can he actually do so and figure out how to beat out his opponent? Because in a case like this, it really feels like it's just so difficult right now for Azin to get on the mark. But hey, he's gonna give it the old college try. Might as well, right? Might as well. And in a case like this, there we do have the Spire on that second base. Perfect time right now for Nux to attack has to be now. Before these mutas fly up in the air, if Nux can shut down that Spire, can shut down the production, then it can be it. He's also going to be going for the 4th base right here, right now. And the question here is, though, what's the play for Nux? What can he do? A while ago, we saw GeoHen just outclass Pobs not once but twice with the aggro. But against Nux, against a more fearsome beast, it seems like it's just not enough. So we'll see what this is all about as Nux is marching in with the Roaches again and again. Can we actually make it to mutas? Will it actually happen? It's the building trying to block it over. It's going to be time to see what Nux can do on the natural, and he's just gonna go for the Queens immediately. Look at the concentration fire, shutting down these units ASAP. Ravagers are caught out immediately, and Nux is just going in for a world of hurt. He's marching on forward onto the main base we go. Does he actually spot out the Spire in the first place? No, he doesn't. It's such a small building, it's such a thin one, and unfortunately, though, GG is called. As it knows, he can make it there. He can go for the ball of mutas, but it just doesn't pan out, and victory will go in favor of Nux. There you go, guys. Game number 1 going in favor of Nux. Very well played indeed by Mr. Nux himself. Just able to defend. The only slip up I saw was that Baneling Cocoon, allowing Azin to still keep on the pressure. But besides that, it was a perfect game from Nux from start to finish. The defense was on point, getting everything he can and more. And it really feels like it was that problem of diversifying that portfolio a little too much on the Zerg. We see Azin going for both the Baneling and the Roaches, and it pretty much just an all-in push. He was behind from that point on, and even though Nux couldn't go for the killing blow, it still didn't matter. But in the end, we are not done yet. Ice and Chrome gonna be here, and this can be our last map of the night if Nux does take it. Can GeoHen actually go for the comeback here? Will he be able to figure something out in this instance? It's gonna be very difficult for him, that's for sure, but he will try his damnedest. He will try his best, and it's gonna be all about that aggro again and again. And as we say, guys, we are gonna be getting in a game mid-transition already, midway, and let's get into the matchup. Here we are on Ice and Chrome LE. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and this is it. And Nux actually shut down Azin. Or will Azin be able to force out a game number 3? Introducing first though, on the top right of Ice and Chrome, it's our red Zerg, Nux. And his opponents, here on the bottom left, the green Zerg, Azin. So here we are, ladies and gents, and immediately, of course, it's pool first for both sides. Now, the thing to note, though, is it really is just Nux respecting what Azin has been up to so far in this tournament. He's always answering with links, and so he has to have links just in case he doesn't go on and get overrun. Because when Azin is actually in position, he's a scary beast to behold, because he can actually go for the pokes as much as possible. He can prod you to your demise, and in the end, you're actually going to lose out a lot more than you force him to lose, because he's just happy to make every single trade. But as I say that, better micro here so far from Nux, to be able to win out the advantage, the initial Zergling bouts. If only, right, that you can actually get a reward for winning out the Zergling versus Zergling fight. But it doesn't matter, and this is just going to be forcing Azin to back on out instead. Metabolic boost though being built up already by the side of Azin. But on the other side, Nux is doing something a little bit different. He's not going for meta immediately, he's going for the Baneling Nest instead. And this is looking to be a very aggressive push this time from Nux. What I see from him, he's bringing those Banelings to try and bust down whatever is in front of him. And the thing to note though, is if he can get it into the mineral line, then it's going to be even better. But at the same time, we see Azin trying to fend off that one Zergling. Unfortunately for him though, the scout is there and he's forced to cancel whatever he was trying to build there in the first place. So he is stuck on Lintech right now, and it's all according to plan here for Nux. Forcing his opponent to stay in a basically Link scenario while he gets Banes is such a good sight to behold. And don't forget guys, if you do want to watch the VOD that is underway, then you can always just check out the videos tab down below. Besides that though, uploading this to YouTube tomorrow before we start on to the Grand Finals itself. It's 2 p.m. for the Grand Finals. Whoever wins this, though, going to be facing off against Ender. We already see GLG versus Jomsky on the Gold to Diamond side, and that's going to be TVZ and then ZVZ. No Protoss this time on our last day. An interesting sight to behold, but it really goes to show the evolution of our community. But as the Overlords are having a little bit of a meeting of the minds, this is going to be high time to see Nux try to get a little bit more done into the front line. He's also going for more extractors. 3 extractor rather, onto base, looking for a third perhaps very, very soon is the way to go here for Nux. So he can have a good economy for both the Banelings as well as the Roaches later on. But he's going to be having to deal with +1 here on Azin's side. In the meantime, Nux going to finally get that meta boost up and running. And as we said, Lair Tech going to be there. There is going to be the Roaches as well. And Nux showing Azin how it's done. It's not about getting these tech structures up immediately. It's about building the foundation, building the deterrent to try and get it up and running. Still though, for Nux, a pretty clean macro game so far. 42 workers versus 32. And in a case like this, we are going to be seeing the Lair Tech for Azin as well. But that +1 going to be pretty scary if Azin can get the big numbers onto the Zerglings. And we will see him try to do even more and more so. Baneling Nest also going to be into play. But does he actually know what Nux is doing? It's going to be the Roach Warren is unscattered so far. There we are going to get Aspire as well. And Nux is aspiring for the skies, aspiring for the stars. This is gonna pan out here for a red Zerg. Can Azin actually spot this one out in time? Can he actually go for a really good timing attack to shut down that mineral line, to shut down the economy? Those are questions that need to be answered in just a few minutes, as this is Azin playing the defensive. Spine Crawler is gonna be there, and here comes Nux right now, bringing in more and more of these units. Now this is really interesting because Nux is basically baiting his opponent. He built the Baneling Nest, he built the Roach Warren, but he's not doing anything with it. He used this opportunity to go for an early lair. Surprise, surprise, in behind, Spire is going to be there. So this mutable here from Nux might not get scattered whatsoever. Can Azin see this one coming? This Overlord is still floating here. And there we go, we see that one Overlord also get called out by the Queens. But here we go again, Nux is just going for the pokes and the prods. He's trying to psych out his opponent, and he's going to be going for the Banelings to try and defend his main entrance point as much as possible. In a case like this though, Azin still has a good number of Zerglings, and if he decides to go for commitment, he might actually be able to catch Nux off guard. But still, as we say, it's Cold War because of these Banelings. It's a deterrent waiting to happen. And look at these Zerglings, they're just trying to make it through, but the Queen refusing to move her big Pat Aini. But now, the stars of the show are here. 7 mutants coming into play. There we go with Azin, trying to go for a little bit of the duel. But unfortunately, the skirmish is not working out because that Baneling has already popped. In the meantime though, Nux protecting that lone Baneling still. with the other Zerglings, and Azin cannot find an opening whatsoever. And this is just a ticking time bomb waiting to happen. Nux has already gotten into Mutatech, and this is just looking for aspirations here and now. We'll find out if GeoHen can actually defend against this. Does he have enough anti-air to begin with? The Banelings are gonna get caught up immediately, and this has to be Spine Crawlers and Spore Crawlers ASAP for our Green Zerg. There you go, reaction time is a go. Azin gonna be double pumping it out onto the natural. Gonna have one on the main. Does he go for one on the third base? No, since there are no drones whatsoever, he doesn't really care. So in the meantime, these mutas are bullying their way to victory, and this is just Nux bringing in the flock to try and shut down whatever kind of targets that they can see. Down to the third base we go, and this time this third base is a little too late to the party on the Spore Crawler side. Not too much losses there for Azim, but he already knows that he needs that third base up and running for the near future. But the future is down, and there we go with the Mutas already harassing the Queens as much as possible. Azim trying to go for the Congregation, but unfortunately for him, they're off creep. These Queens are a lot slower to try and get in position, and Nux is just poking as much as possible. Spore Crawler is already set up. There we do see Nux going over to the main base instead, and he's hunting these Overlords as much as possible. He's trying to supply block his opponent here and now, and you can see the difference here. 55 to 95 supply. This is Nux in position again to bring in more of the harassment, and with the army count that he has on the ground, it's still enough to actually hold for the time being. But Azin doesn't care. He has to give it a good college try. He wants to make it to the grand finals. He wants to face off against Ender, and we'll find out if he can actually do so as the Queen will get surrounded. There we go with a big pick off, but the Spine Crawler is still way too tanky. Baneling Nest is there as well, and it seems like that's gonna be a pop. That's gonna be enough to stop the initial wave, and it seems like the only things left are gonna be those Banelings trying to morph on in. Nux, oh Nux, he is hungry for vengeance. He is hungry to make it another date with Ender in the grand finals, and it seems like we are coming closer and closer again to the same old timeline that we are used to. But Azim's still in this fight. Can he actually do anything by this point? He's down to the worker, he's down to the army. The best thing he can do right now is find a way to shut down these Muta, and he's going straight into Corruptors. But the problem though right now is this is only 3 Corruptors. If I could correctly, Nux can actually go for the rapid regeneration and shut this one down. He's poking the quick little hatchery first though, and one Corruptor will go down. The thing about Corruptors, sure they're tanky, but at the same time, in sheer numbers, these Mutas have the volume, they have the regeneration, and they will shut down this third base. Everything looking really good here for Nux. Not only does he shut down that third base, he also supply blocks his opponent, forcing Azin to actually go for the Overlord cycle instead. While we are going to be getting more Corruptors, sure, it can be Nux going for the tech switch if ever. He can go for the Roaches, he can go for the Lings, he can go for the Banes, and with everything available for Nux right now in between tier 1 and tier 2 units, he is just happy to go about his merry way. This is just the basic core of Zerg into play. Nux is just very happy about this position right now, and this is a last-ditch effort for GeoHen to try and survive, but this is looking to be a lot more overwhelming than we expected. Almost 20 of these Mutas into play, make that 21 already here for Nux, looking to congregate, looking to destroy, and Nux is hunting these Corruptors yet again. Goodbye to that poor tentacle monster up in the air, and Nux is just looking for the coup de grace. Can he make it to the grand finals again? It seems like the cards are under his favor, and he is just harassing his opponent to the best degree. Is this gonna be it? Is this gonna be Nux shutting this one down? That's gonna be the Spine Crawler going on down. There we have the Corruptors again, and we will see Azin try his damnedest to try and survive, but it's just not panning out whatsoever. Too big of an army. It's a complete shutdown here from Nux. There is no coming close to the natural whatsoever, and brick by brick, we are seeing these buildings fall. This is Nux, hungry to make it to that top 2. And the thing to note is whoever wins this one is gonna be in the money. He is gonna be at the very least getting that second place prize if he loses that tomorrow. But he is here to win it. He is here to book another date. And here we go again. GG is called. Azin will call it there. Good luck to Nux as he will face off against Ender again. And that is gonna be that. Nux will move on, and that is that for our round 5 broadcast. So there you go, guys. We have our finalists. In Gold's Diamond, it's GLG versus Jomsky. In the meantime, here in Masters Blast, of course, it is Ender versus Nux. Gotta say, Zerg represented 3 Zergs in our finals. 1 Terran player, no Protoss whatsoever. And it's a quick day here, guys. And I really appreciate you guys tuning on in. Highly unfortunate the Spire just not going online in time there for GeoHen. It was a good effort though in the end though, but just the timings there from Nux, a little too much to handle. Very, very impressive to see. Very well played. And that is going to be that for our broadcast. So don't forget, guys, tomorrow we will have the grand finals. Let me show you guys the schedule real quick before we wrap it up. It is going to be on the afternoon, 2 p.m. Today is your round 5 broadcast. It did finish all the way back in Wednesday, and I'm just happy to see these games go underway. This is, of course, Quarantine Tournament number 5, brought to you by Pure PC as well as Block 101 as our sponsors, presented to you by DLS Missile, Daks PH's ABP. We'll be seeing Mr. Malapate tomorrow alongside with me, and Mr. Missile gonna be bringing up all the stops for the grand finals, but I cannot wait. In any case, guys, quick stream here. Thank you guys for tuning on in. Thank you guys for coming. And I'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon for our grand finals. This is going to be Daks calling it here. Quarantine Tournament number 5. An amazing sight to behold. And thank you guys for everything. Thank you guys for tuning on in. And I'll see you guys in the next one.